Alright. Welcome to the Tombs of Time. I'm the Joker, and these are my victims, who will now introduce themselves, starting with Harley on this side. No, that.
See, I'm actually the man behind the slaughter, but I will be playing Nella Volcane in today's campaign. And yeah, that's me.
And she's got purple on it, counts.
Yeah.
I am Captain Sean the Butcher Edinburgh, played by this knucklehead sitting right here.
And I am playing Rafa Macruz, the somewhat mighty monk that's less confused lately than he has been in the past.
He's about to be very confused.
Oh,
And
that's
in this corner,
I am the Black Doctor, playing the illustrious and holy man Donatello, even though my outfit is not necessarily very holy.
for a second I thought you were going to say, I'm the Black Doctor, playing the Green Turtle.
nice. Wearing the gray cowl.
During the gray.
And we are returning for the first time in a little bit in full number to the world of Aelith. However, while for our heroes, they are in while for the rest of you, it has been the aftermath of a fight. For Rafa Marcus, the last thing you remember was lunging towards a suddenly appearing fifth robed man at the docks as he pointed at you and uttered some words actually only you understand, for they are in infernal, raw infernal incantation of the banishment spell. Though you're not so familiar between the word for banishment and your sudden change of scenery, you can assume that is what has befallen you. As you find yourself, and I find myself realizing I need to send you something so you can read it. You find yourself elsewhere, landing, for you jumped, landing in a silt-like gray dust is now billowing out around you. As you look above yourself, you see the strangest sight you have ever witnessed. A planet. You see the northern hemisphere with its polar ice cap, dim in the night's shadow, but below it you see the peninsula of the Arctic region. In the age of Aeons, you knew this place to be called Adris, though in the age of intellect, it is known as Atrash. To its east, the northern continent, Cambria. To the south, Taun, with its eastward Zreth archipelagos. And south of all of this, you see where you were moments ago, the southern continent of Calibri. As you look around in confusion, you see a pyramid-shaped temple, one you've seen depictions of before in your old religious texts and studies. This is the palace of Thyr, the goddess of the night and moon. You are on Kaleo, Aelith's moon. What do you do?
Did you say Aelith's moon?
Mhm.
Oh my gosh. Well, there's a curveball.
How's the gravity?
Yeah.
The dust is settling down at a slower rate than you would expect it to be settling.
I mean, am I in immediate danger? Is like
Um,
I can
Make a
breathe? All I
perception
get
check.
out? Okay. Let me get back to that.
I'm upset that the screen's not showing and no one's getting my joke.
What? Apparently I can't perceive much.
You hear a voice behind you.
I'll turn around.
Your spirit is marked.
Marked for what?
Tainted of the god you used to worship.
The god that I don't believe exists anymore.
He shrugs.
Are you some kind of a guide?
I'm an oracle. A mere oracle. And at that, if you could read the passage I sent to you, as this would instantly trigger something in Rafa's mind.
Player read it, or you want me to read it out loud?
In character, you'd be reciting. This would come to mind for you to recite.
Okay. Tell me, Oracle, where was Aotin when the usurpers arose? Tell me, Oracle, was he not amongst us, guiding his sons and daughters? Tell me, Oracle, who held back Ouroboros, who tamed the Terasake?
The terrorist.
God. I was close. Tell me, Oracle, was it not Aotin? Was it not the Wanderer? Tell me, Oracle, why do you keep silent? Are you not wise? Tell me, Oracle, what is this spear of mithril you have, and where went your eye? Tell me, Oracle, are you not he? Are you not Aotin? Speak, Oracle. Will you now speak?
A hat like a late 1800s, early 1900s sailor shadows his expression, though you can tell he is grinning as he responds. A wood elf I respect. A wood elf I find wise. They do not invite you to drink for their own gain. They do not speak to impress you, nor to deceive you. A wood elf enjoys the hunt. Their brothers do so for sport. A wood elf does not enjoy war. But reserve ought not be taken as timidity. High elves and low are known for their green steel, mithril. There is no sword like a mithril sword. There is no shield like a mithril shield. There is no armor like mithril armor. There is no warrior like an elven warrior. Wood elves are humble. Wood elves are dangerous. All elves make formidable foes. But where high elves have armies, wood elves have keen skill. Archery is an art form to the wood elf. And a wood elf is respected for the number of arrows linked. Sad is the elf who cannot strike the same place twice. And one is an unlucky number to wood elves. Never one drink, never one bite, never one word, never one glance, never one wink, never one question, never one weapon, never one shot, never one step, never one steed, never one cloak, never one story, never one joke, never one guest, never one child, never even one wife. Indeed, a wood elf fears one last breath. It's better to them to have zero of a thing than but one. Indeed, I am he, Aoten. Have you not heard? Did I not cast out my eye into the heavens, that I could see all below, and even spy on the court of the gods? And am I not the maker of the elves? What right have they to Mithril? Aoten all the more. So I will have my spear. I have been silent so I could hear all things. I have wandered so I could see all things. Who told you I slew the god? And indeed, Tarask is my beast, and I have beaten back Ouroboros. I have guided my children. I have been amongst you. I have seen the usurpers rise. I have seen them fall. Who worshipped the usurpers? Tell me, man. Do gods worship themselves? I did not oppose them, for we all tried to usurp he whose name I cannot speak, whose light ever shines. But Legad and Zalora, and that Voidwalker and Fear, yes, these fought against all and caused the downfall. Yeah. What evil did I do by you? It's the elves that make their own evil, not Aoten. I have observed all, and I have spoken peace to my sons. My sons disagree with these words. They can burn as the trees I did not carve. It was my spear that pierced Iphamora and struck her heart. It was I who cut down Mir short and made him the jester god. And I who would consort with, and I would never consort with a dragon, less with the Voidwalker. But I met a man who was kindred, a man of books, a man whose name time forgot. To him I detailed the age of Aeon. And you would recognize that to be some choice stanzas from the text, the once holy to you text, the words of Aoten.
So all of these deeds that you speak of, do you really think that you are the one that predestined them? That it was by you that they all happened?
In truth, one is a fool to trust that words such as mine have been preserved to the day. For I am a mere deus.
So
Indeed, my actions are at the bequest of the one of whom I cannot speak.
And why is it that you cannot speak of him?
One can find themselves so far run away from home that to speak of their homeland is too much for them.
So what is it that you want with me?
I don't know. You came here. This was one of the bridgeways to Agatha, to the Alethe court.
So where's the way to go back?
I'm not sure. The magic about you shows that it will soon expire, and you will end with that. You snap back, and you all watch as he comes back, laying now where the body, or standing now where the body of the main boss was. You all see Rafa.
Ah, hello, friend.
Hello. I have some things to tell you. And I'll
Well,
relay all of what just happened.
Okay. And assuming they relay it back to you, who can tell me where we last left our heroes?
we fought.
I barbecued somebody.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
two of our friends got sent into the void. um, Nella got sent into the middle of the ocean, experiencing basically a Kingdom Hearts opening, where she's literally floating in the ocean until she got brought back. And Kyle got sent to the land of misfit pastries.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
So yeah, they had fun, and we killed a guy
Mm-hmm.
who continually tried to take over our minds. Oh yeah, he also tried to disguise himself as our little axolotl friend, but I saw through it and killed him for it.
Yeah. He was rude.
A real rude dude. So yeah, that happened.
Lance,
Ninja Turtle line.
as you explain these things, Lance finds his way to the doorway and leans against it, clutching his wound.
Do I see him?
Are you looking behind you?
I mean, I'm looking around, sort of explaining the whole thing to him. Well, explaining the whole thing to Rafa.
As you're talking, you see two young adults come out from behind some of the boxes. A man and a woman holding hands. That was insane. Nella, you
Well-
recognize these two.
You're muted, hon. Oh. Well, strange things usually happen around here, or at least I expect them to. But who are you two?
Oh, where no one, and the other pipes up. I'm Ophelia, and this is Stanley. And we're on our way. You didn't have to tell them that. And at that, you start hearing the sound of two approaching footsteps at a quickened pace. They look behind where you are as a group and start quickly moving off down the docks.
I call out to them. Wait, friends, where are you going? You said you were off?
They give no reply, as up to you come two men in or slightly passing their midlife, in very well-to-do clothes, not unlike what the other two were wearing. One taller, burlier, with a handlebar mustache, salt and peppered. It comes up. Oh, Costlestone. I saw them. Our kids. What are they doing here? What are you doing here? What was that noise we heard?
That's a very long story. I don't think you would like to hear the end of it. But who are you two?
Oh, where are my men? Hi. Oh, okay, maybe I'm a bit more winded than I thought I would be. Oh, You're right, Copplestone. You're right, Emerson. We are not 8 anymore. I'm Grayson Copplestone, leader of the House Copplestone of this district. Thank you for paying for entry, I presume. And this is, for goodness sake, I am Aaron Emerson. And I believe, if my eyes do serve me well in this dim light, those were our children that just ran away from you.
Hmm.
Oh,
And-
blood! Oh, and he kind of starts to faint, and Grayson just kind of grabs him and holds him up.
It's a very squeamish lot. I apologize for a bishop to have seen war. I usually would assume that not everyone is like me, but still, why do you what you said those were your children?
Yes, that was my son. And that was my daughter.
Hmm. And why do you believe that they would be, I suppose, running away from you? You suggest?
I don't know. He was talking madness earlier about some girl that he just. I don't understand. You don't think, and the two kind of look at each other and start to scowl at each other.
Nella, you looked a certain way around those two. Do you know them?
Not necessarily. I just overheard things. I overhear things.
Emerson, what did she overhear? He stares down at the more diminutive of the two.
Put a hand on my axe, just gently. I'm getting bad vibes from these guys.
I step forward, leaning upon my staff. Well, it seems to me that we have an ancient case of little Romeo and Juliet syndrome. It seems that you two do not want what seems to be right in front of your face.
Oh, Grayson, I detest. You take everything. First you take my sweet, and then your son takes my daughter, and they're God knows where. And Grayson just kind of takes out his own hanky and kind of dabs his forehead.
So,
Should I give you my
Wow.
dog too?
Donatello chuckles and sort of places his staff between the two, almost separating them. It seems that you two have a bit of a grudge. And it seems that one of you seems to be upset that love seems to have its own way.
No,
Is-
it's this man who has his way.
I turn to the other man. Did you set this up with your with those children? Or did they do this on their own?
They did this on their own.
Then I stand up straight, looking at the both of them. As one who has seen wars on end, there has been enough sorrow in this world, so much pain. But love is the only thing that I've seen that can pierce the darkness with the light of the great Palor. And love will find its way whether you want it to happen or not. So instead of being a stumbling block, why don't you simply let it be?
Love. I don't know if a Copplestone can love. He just spoke up at the wedding. convinced her to leave me. It was different. First off,
Well, it seems that, at least in the case of love, he's won twice. What do you
Em-
have that you believe that he does not?
Emerson starts to. You see his face flush with anger.
Listen, friend. When it comes to rejection, it happens to everyone. It always does. And the pride of a good man is one who bounces back from it. And besides, if you know that you have enough game, you know you could win anyone in the world, why not try?
Roll a persuasion check.
Okay. I'm usually good at these, he says.
Nice.
About time.
Still, what if a band of pirates capture them? I don't.
Would they be safer here if they stayed together?
Well, he just gestures to the meter thick walls that encompass Valen.
But if they were to stay together,
Oh no, the town knows of our feud. We'd become laughing stocks, I'm afraid.
your children do not inherit your anger towards each other. Your children could quell the anger between you two.
Well, would someone please at least try to reason with them? They're doing very dangerous, stupid things, and we have a meeting to get to this instant. Goodness sakes. They're going to kick us out of the town. He turns around and starts to walk away as Costlestone just crosses his arms.
We can stop them from getting on a boat, but it's up to you to make them want to stay.
Tell them I'd like to talk to them. That's my son. I trained him to be strong, not cocky. And with that, he also turns and starts to follow the other.
I'm
Well,
gonna break into a dead sprint towards the kids.
Roll an investigation check.
Oh, okay.
Donatello's just like,
She gone.
Is anyone going to join her?
I was insightful for 2 seconds, and now it's back to impulsiveness.
You
Donatello just
find
rolls after.
you find them. The man is. They found like a tied up rowboat, and the young man is currently trying to dash it with a very small pocket knife.
I've seen
Dash
Kingdom
the ropes
Hearts 1,
to let
this is
it
not gonna
down.
go well.
Well, that's not very effective.
I've seen Kingdom Hearts 1. This is not going to go well.
No, he did. Oh.
I guess Nella is gonna go up to him. So he's trying to cut the rope. What is she doing?
She's kind of looking around nervously, and she notices you and starts to pat his arm. It's like, what? Oh! Hi, pig lady.
A pocket knife is not very useful in cutting a thick rope.
I'm noticing.
Is that all you have on you?
For defense, yes.
You could not cut a fish's head off with that. It would not help much with defense.
I'll have you know, I caught a beta fish when I was 5, and this did just fine.
She doesn't know what those are. I do, though, and that's not impressive.
Nella on the outside. I understand. Nella on the inside. Mid.
Are you... I believe your parents want to talk to you about something.
Oh, yes, and they'll tell me never consort with an Emerson because that's what they've always told me.
Your father seemed a bit more understanding when you talked to him.
You'll never be understanding. Mother was more like a trophy to him before she died.
Well, if you leave your home, do you really think it will be better?
Yes.
Why?
I'm not cut out for textiles and managing dive bars and bills for tolls. I need to make a name for myself. I can't just be my father's shadow. That's all this town is people who are in power because their fathers were in power, and that's what their fathers did, and that's what they do. That's all this town is.
Nella looks to Ophelia. Is it a decision of both of you to take a tiny ship and sail into dark waters at night?
She kind of pipes up. It's not the worst idea. It's not a raft. Right? That's not a... Yeah. It's this or we go inland, but... We kind of look at each other.
I can understand wanting to differ from your parents. I can understand wanting to stand out. Be your own kind of person. But to leave on bad terms means to never return to good. And if I am being very blatant, if you do plan on taking a small boat and a tiny knife, you will not last very long on the waters.
The gal kind of claps his shoulder and goes, maybe we should talk with our folks. And he kind of puts away the knife.
Donatello finally walks up to them. He's literally panting. I might be able to face the hordes, but I do not run as quickly as you do, Nella. Oh, Hello, you two.
Oh, a turtle.
What's
It's just
what did I
animals.
miss?
We were talking, and have you thought about it? Talking to your parents?
As far as we've found, it's not been very forthcoming with them. Her father hates my father, and probably hates me.
Well, you're not your father.
I hope not.
I can't give you advice on a relationship. I can try to give you advice on making your parents see larger than themselves. You are their offspring. You are their future. They can't make copies of themselves with you. They have to give you the good parts of themselves and hope that you can expand on them and build rather than stay stagnant or even destroy.
I see what you mean. You are insightful for a pig folk.
Thank you. They're not too far from here now. Maybe
They're probably on the way to a city council meeting.
I can go grab them and keep them here. If you wish to
No.
talk in a different environment.
No, it's fine. We face them together, and he grabs her hand.
That is the best way to conquer most battles.
If you want to really see what they're like, we pull enough weight to get you an audience to listen in on their meeting. It's really only reserved for socialites, but, well, what are we?
Nella looks at Donatello.
I think we'd be greatly appreciative of that gift.
And he starts to lead the way.
Oh, are we following him?
We probably should.
Okay.
And besides, I want to hear how this goes.
Okay. Well, we walk back, I guess, to get the other two. Nella's going to very quietly whisper to Donatello, I think someone asked me to kill their parents, and I kind of promised I would.
Well, I wouldn't recommend that you do it right now.
I was asked to kill most of the heads of this city, actually.
Well, like I said, I would probably wait until we get this squared off before we deal with any more moral dilemmas.
It would be such a good opportunity. They'd all be in the same place. And I made a promise.
Who did you promise this to?
Yeah. Donnie? Donnie Forward? Oh.
I was about to say, you didn't promise me.
The weird stuff happened while you were out.
He's
not
a man.
piloting here.
He's a man. His last name was...
Dottie, you noticed a strange tattoo on your back calf. No.
The guy I talked to was Donnie, right? That's not his brother's name?
Yes.
Okay.
He said to kill Jameson and say Donnie sent ya. You would have extrapolated from talking to the wizard that Donnie Forent is the brother of Jameson Forent.
Yes.
And Kyle is over there looking very confused.
I was asked to kill a lot of people.
Yeah, he said that his battery died. He's fixing it.
Oh,
Oh,
Oh, it's frozen. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it looks frozen.
that
I thought he was
Okay.
scratching his head for a long time.
that's comical how it's frozen like that. That's
That works.
almost like a profile picture.
I will.
Right.
I will try not to harm. But also, I don't really like these rich people around here. They talk very loudly and take up too much space.
I mean, I understand your need for anarchy is real. I mean, I get that. I really do. I really do. But I don't think
No,
we
it
need to
just
get
pulls-
the kids.
Nella just pulls out the cookbook like, I got this from the library. Nella, no.
No, yes!
I will not talk much then. She just kind of goes back to walking.
Well, of that, I think it would be beneficial for all of us. I want to see how this goes.
Cool. Let's pick up Rafa and the captain. I
Did-
assume, yeah.
Did Kyle say he'd be able to remedy his issue, or?
I think he's working on it.
It's just a battery. All it takes is changing it.
Yeah, just
I am overheating.
We could potentially take a break while waiting for him.
Yeah, let's take a brief.
sweet, dude.
Ooh.
I am going to go get a drink.
Alrighty. The Tomes of Time is brought to you by the Gospel, the message that a few thousand years ago, a man named Adam and Eve decided that they were smarter than God. So a couple by the name of Adam and Eve decided that they were smarter than God on the word of a snake and decided to eat some fruit. Literally the only thing God told them not to eat. And man has been rebelling against God ever since then and has a broken relationship with God. Ergo, about 2,000 years ago, God himself came down, because no man could be righteous enough, came down himself to live the perfect life that you and I never could, and died upon the cross, the death that we could not die, taking upon his back our sin, so that God can be both merciful and just, in that all sin shall be punished, that he is merciful in that you don't have to be the one who is punished for your sin, that by belief in Christ, your life can be transformed and turned away from sin. You shall not perish, but have eternal life. He rose on the third day, proclaiming his victory over death. Yes, this is all according to the Bible, it's the scripture. That is the good news.
A to the men.
Yeah. Oof. David Rojas. Hello. A viewer. That is pretty cool. We've never gotten a viewer for this before.
No.
We are currently on break, so I shall filibuster since we now have a viewer. Ooh.
I'm just curious as to. So, I mean, we didn't get a chance to while he was on the moon or wherever. That was interesting. That was something. Like, would he? Would he have been terrified, or would he have been confident? I played it confident.
I think that's ultimately up to you, because it's your character. You would know from your mythology after hearing the things where you were in the pagan mythology of Aelith. There's the court of Alethe is sort of a little complicated and depends on who you're actually asking. There's where Tyr is on Kaleo. She has her kind of palace. which is kind of tends to be seen as sort of a lower form of the proper court.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
So it's kind of like if you somehow mixed the idea of you have Mount Olympus and then from there you can get to Valhalla, in a not in the sense of what you have to do to get there, but in the sense of like these are the many rooms in the house of the pagan gods.
Hmm.
You know what? In my world bingo this year, I did not expect someone attempting to say that the Westminster Catechism promotes a Marxist view of justice.
Oy vey. What?
Um, it came before Marx, so how?
I know.
Having read the man's manifesto, I am confused.
My favorite is when they say, "Oh, they had the disciples were all selling the property in Jerusalem because they were socialists and they were distributing the money, or maybe, just maybe, they took Jesus's words seriously about what was about to happen to Jerusalem, and they knew that they wouldn't have much value in that property anymore."
See,
And
also I've normally heard people say that to say that they were communist, which I'm sorry, I've read the book. They were not. They were very pro. They were pro obeying the bourgeoisie, even if they're oppressive.
When you sold the money, was it still yours in your hand?
Ugh.
Rafa has a new perspective.
I know I've freaking asked this question beforehand, and I know I've made a particular argument for it, but I don't remember what it was. Somebody's asking me the question, did Christ have two minds?
Two minds?
Yeah, because we know that he had two wills. But I'm trying to remember in biblical ontology, is the mind a property of the person or of the nature? Because if either one determines what the answer is, and I'm trying to freaking remember what it was.
And you don't want to answer incorrectly and be a heretic.
Yeah, of course. But I'll probably.
Well, I got the diophysticism wrong for a little bit because I didn't understand.
Diophysitic, yeah. Like of course I've taught you that before. And
yeah, it just didn't stick.
This was back during the whole what was it? Herder, I hate Aquinas age.
I just quoted him in a video.
Yesterday.
Uh-huh.
Ah. What on?
Eschatology. Surprise, surprise. It was him and what was the other one? Maybe I'm saying his name wrong, but is it Joachim of Fiore?
Yeah, Joachim.
Joachim. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, I mispronounced that in my video, so that's fine.
Lol. Pursuing unity on triunity. I need to PERS. Okay.
I think I'm going to switch hats because this one is a little warm.
Do you mean two minds in the sense of two consciousness?
Well, no, not necessarily, no. Because consciousness is an aspect of being.
I have a question.
Yes.
Does God have more than one mind?
No. I don't think he does.
I agree. So I think that it would not be. I think it would be a no.
Yeah, if that's the case, then mind is a property of the nature of something. So if the mind is of the nature of something, then in the incarnation, Christ does have two minds, just as he has two wills.
But wouldn't that mean that one of the minds embodies a demigod rather than God?
No, not at
Why?
all. Because in order for it to be a demigod, it would have to be you'd have to be Eutychian, because you'd have to mix the human mind and the divine mind together. And if that's the case, then it's not two minds at all. It's a hybrid mind. It's a hybrid mind. For something to be a demigod, it has to be half god and half man, and not fully god and fully man. If you have half god and half man, you have neither of each.
Should, yeah, okay.
You have a tertium quid, a third thing.
Look, all I'm saying is I think his love and his wrath are two different things.
Now,
I don't
sir.
agree with modern bullheadedness of Thomism, as I've heard it sometimes
Look
expressed.
at here, sir. You're just simply going to say, I'm going to deny divine simplicity and nobody can stop me.
I think he's understandable. I don't think he's simple.
Right.
Understandable, I would say, yeah.
Oh, mercy.
I think it'd be nice if Kyle responded to my text.
I showed you my D&D campaign. Please respond.
Me trying to open up to anyone about my campaign I do.
I gave you the icing gun. Please respond.
Outside of this group. Goodness. Do you rewatch the session movie?
I'm sorry, I did not hear you.
I joke. I was just teasing, asking if you rewatched the session.
I do.
I will return.
Oh, okay.
I know that beer is made out of wheat, but I'm kind of tired of it tasting like bread.
Then get flavored beer.
No, that's
I
the
have
yeast.
flavored beer. It's
That's
like peach
the-
bread.
That's
You know
the
what
yeast.
you need?
It's like mango bread.
Sorry, Steven, you go.
Cider.
Yeah,
Um,
cider works too.
Cider is really good. I actually just got some earlier. But you know what you should try that I
What?
think is delicious, and they just started doing this, I guess. So, have you drank Jack Daniels much?
I dabble.
They have like 6-packs of bottles of Jack Daniels, but they have like flavors in them, like watermelon and raspberry, and
Why is watermelon the first one you mentioned?
because it's my favorite.
Okay.
And they
You get
taste like daiquiris. It's dangerous. They're so good.
A conversation just now.
Just talking about new flavored Jack Daniels stuff they put out. It's so good.
Yep.
Tastes like daiquiris does. I don't do math. Probably twice as much, maybe more, as daiquiris do.
Mm.
I like a good daiquiri.
It's been a while since I've had one.
Since everyone has a beer, I thought I'd go grab one.
I don't have one.
Oh, okay.
That's well. Now I gotta go get one.
Join the boys club.
I don't really like beer much, but this one looked interesting.
Hi. Did I just disappear?
You did for a moment. You kind of froze.
My internet did a heart palpitation.
Yeah, it's been
It's
doing
almost
that
like
since we got
Palpatine.
back from the break.
Do it.
Yeah, my heart did my internet did a palpatine.
Do it.
It did it.
You prepare for your lack of ambition.
You were warned what failure would bring.
Just tastes like beer. I don't know. Okay.
It tastes like bread.
Well, it says pistachio cream ale. So it's like, oh, maybe it'll be a little sweeter or have a nutty aftertaste. No, it just tastes like a beer. I don't know.
That's the thing. For the most part, I don't notice a difference in like types of drink. Am I still lagging?
A little bit.
A bit. Just a little bit.
I will be. I can leave and rejoin, right?
Being the host, maybe. Well, we're
Yeah,
all
it's,
still here.
it could still work. I mean, we just wouldn't be able to close it without him, I don't think. But
Still leave though.
We all logged
yeah,
out.
he could still leave.
Mr. J, are you
He's
back?
gone. Everyone run.
Yeah. Ah, he's gonna kill us all.
It's-
I mean,
It's
he did
still
just send me to the
fun.
moon randomly, so
Yes, I did.
I'm so upset that I did not make an Eggman reference there.
I'm gonna blow up.
How do you like that, Obama? I put Rafa on the moon, you idiot.
I need to rewatch. Rewatch Shaun of the Dead.
Oh man.
I was starting to say something.
I remember there was like a few months ago he did a stint with like Lythero and all the shenanigans over there on his channel. And it was so good.
We'll see. Okay.
Bread.
Bread. Open to the bread store. We got bread.
Bread.
So
All right.
Bread on deck. Bread on the floor. Toast.
What's the
As
bloody
you pass-
situation?
As you pass by a bread shop,
I need a
Uh,
baguette and a brioche. We don't got either of those.
the party ascends up Valen's Way, following the two young adults. And winding. Yes?
I asked Nella, "Are you gonna finish that croissant?"
I almost dropped my croissant.
You're led ultimately in the northernmost district to what sort of seems like a town hall sort of place.
What time is it?
At this point, it is
Isn't it like the middle of
probably
the
about 7 or 8,
At-
or later. Yeah, it's
Oh,
dark.
it's like the
This for
middle
the
of the
week,
night.
fam.
Yeah, when Rafa was sent to the moon, he saw the part of Aelith that was in the Earth's shadow, or the Aelith's shadow.
Gotcha. Cool. Are all four of us going? Is that just an executive decision?
What?
All four of us are going? We decided that?
I think that's kind of what y'all decided. If Kyle really wants to protest, we can explore the adventures of the captain.
If Kyle wants to protest, may he speak now, or his opinion is false.
At the entrance,
I think his phone battery decided for him.
at the entrance are two guards. But as they see the kids approach, they open the door. No questions asked as you follow them inside,
Interesting.
and you manage to. Are you good?
I just realized something.
What?
Yes.
This is a town meeting of all the important people in town. Does that mean Brigand is gonna be there, or his mom?
You'll find out.
Oh no,
Banana.
I can't be Nella right now, man.
You follow them to sort of a inner chamber. That's sort of like some marriage between a sanctuary and a congress room, culminating. It's like a built-upon amphitheater, culminating with where the different heads are. Although they're not all there. You can tell there are 7 houses, and so far there's only a few there, such as where are my notes? Okay, the glasses are going on. We need vision. Audio is Scrolled so far up in my notes. Okay. You see the priest from the church and another man sitting at sort of the head of the table. As you wait, you eventually hear heavy footsteps coming down the hall. What do y'all do?
Turn around and look at the steps.
Same.
As the doors swing open, as two brigand guards in revolutionary garb come in and stand on either side of the door. And in comes, in a lovely evening gown, the mistress of the House Brigand, as she quickly sips and puts away something, if anyone wants to roll a perception check.
That is persuasion, not perception.
Tell me what you got.
Good night with these rolls.
Okay.
Pretty imperceptive for an elf.
Doc, you recognize, hey, that's the stuff that the captain downed at the docks mid-fight. As she puts it back in her purse.
Is she getting tipsy?
She goes and sits down. The rest of you simply notice she drinks something without batting an eye. She has on a different, perhaps extensions. Maybe it's all just wigs. She now has a, what's that called? The basket hairdo. Of white curls.
Look at all that weave.
Oh, you caught me
I'm
with
a
that
turtle.
one.
I'm a turtle. I can say that.
Use the turtle card right in front of all of us. Well done, sir.
After a little bit. Oh, sorry. You clearly got there well after they did. The two others, Copplestone and Emerson, are there. Sorry, I got flustered because I realized I sent a really bad typo to Kyle in messaging.
Oops.
I was like, how did that even, what did I do? Let's see. After a while, a very lithe elf, his head almost seeming sequestered like the ball on a pawn on his high-collared shirt, as he walks in with a cane, as he walks down and takes his seat. He has on him a metal pin or fob of some sort that bears the mark of the blacksmith district that Nella would recognize. After a bit, a halfling comes in and takes a seat. And finally, a well-decorated soldier comes in. Donnie, you know this to be a general. And he walks.
He stands up a little bit straighter.
He marches down and takes his place. And the father of the church takes a gavel, knocks it a little. We may now begin the council meeting. Jameson Forrent shall be taking down minutes. I, Father Homogeneous Lorelei, shall be presiding. Jameson, house over the housing and the slums. What do you bring to the table? And he goes on to a detailed report. He goes on to a detailed report of like quarterly incomes and all of that, and he finally gets to a proposal he's bringing forth. I was planning on increasing rent by 5%. Seems like I can wiggle that. They all kind of hem and haw. And the matron brigand pipes in. I was going to increase property tax by 10. This may perhaps make your district more preferable. Oh, I didn't quite get the voice right. Yeah, fair. After she then gives the update on how the banks are doing, how loans are being repaid one way or another. And then finally Costlestone speaks up. He's been eyeing, noticing that you are all sitting in on this. And he goes, I've been vying for some time. There is an embargo on Dragon's Blood wine. The dynasty cannot profit off of the Zemiri vineyards, where we can source it from. We have immigrants and sailors who would pay handsomely. We're shutting out an entire avenue of revenue for Valen. I mean, think of your children. Emerson pipes up. I could have the food district increase value tenfold if we let Dragonborn food in. But I trust the Empire. He stares daggers at Costlestone. The live elf speaks up. He goes, speaking of embargoes and our trade policies, the lack of incoming ores is starting to show up in our forges. And the general adds, yes. Speaking of hurting, Mr. Motorcycle has not been quite meeting the quota of arms and armor for our forces. As you know, we are preparing for a campaign. After a bit of deliberation, the halfling pipes up and scratches his head and goes, I'm concerned we're not being stringent enough on what we're letting fly around here. Some quack has been through every apothecary and pharmacy in my district with a bag of holding full of this furniture polish he's selling as a cure-all. To which Miss Brigand kind of and pulls out her tincture and drinks the Yakov's golden elixir. Nella, you can now see in the good lighting. Everyone can see in the good lighting. And they kind of continue on this deliberation for a while.
I whisper to the gang. So it seems like these groups are starting to extort the people. We're not getting enough supplies to actually fight this war, and we're planning on getting supplies from the enemy. And in the meantime, our people are suffering. Taxes are going to be raised for this.
It wouldn't be the first time.
It shouldn't have happened the first time.
It can be the last time.
Hearing that, Donatello's head gets down a little bit. Nella, please.
I didn't say in character.
We've got to find a way to do something. Do you think that I really hope that these people would listen to reason.
If they've been doing this for so long, I don't think that's possible.
You tune back into the conversation as Emerson seems to be starting to yell about things. What would any of you know about raising children? This woman's son just came back ashamed, dirty to the nines. There was dirt everywhere.
What?
And Miss Briggan kind of clutches at her pearl. And they continue to sort of have a ruckus conversation at each other about how they're managing their districts.
If I could kill one of them. No.
But would we all die if you tried?
Would we?
Would we?
I mean, I'd keep us alive, but
I think they would be too shocked at me specifically. Anyway.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
After a while, the priest starts calling for order. Order. It seems good. We shall be raising property tax. We shall be raising rents. We shall be continuing to manage what we can from the banks, which is loans. Another scoff from the matron. I'm not sure we could so easily lift the embargo. Costlestone. We'll see what could be done. At which point, Emerson kind of stands up from the table and scoffs and starts walking away.
If he walks away, we won't have them for the children to talk to them.
Do you want me to get
As
I
he
don't
walks,
say it that eagerly. I can stall him. And if it comes to worse, I can tie him.
as he walks up, he starts pointing at the couple sitting beside the two of you, beside the few of you, and he just shouts, "You are a scorn, from a scorn of a memory taken by a scorn of a man I once called friend." And he continues to storm out of the room, slamming the door behind him.
Let's stand up. I'm going to try and follow him.
You try to stop him?
Not stop him. I'm going to leave after him.
Okay. You are allowed to leave.
Are we outside?
You're now more in hallways. As it comes behind you, he turns and goes, "I don't want to..." Oh. You know, my daughter.
I spoke with her and the boy.
And with what? she sorry?
She wants you to understand.
Understand what? She's running away with a man of textile?
She's trying to run away with the man that she wants to be together with.
How sweet. There was someone I wanted to be with. And then that boy's father took her from me. Because
Why?
he is a no good lying cheat.
Well, if you think that of him, why push those feelings onto a separate being?
Because the evidence is in. Survey says he's no different.
Do you know him?
I know he's been frolicking around with my daughter.
Is that all you know?
Paylor knows what they've gotten up to.
If it is only one thing you know about him, then you don't really know him.
One thing I know about cobblestones. They take what they like.
You can believe that. But it is unfair to push the sins of the former onto the next. It is unfair to group a family together as so simple as saying they're the same person.
Don't know who you are. You've clearly not been in Valenor.
Families are the same everywhere.
I need to go clear my head. You know what the nearest tavern is? I try to forget this district exists.
I have alcohol.
What'd she say?
I have alcohol.
How much do you want for it? He starts opening up his coin purse and raffling around.
Is it gold?
You're not sure yet.
I want a conversation.
I don't want to sell it.
Someone who doesn't want compensation. You're really not from around here.
It is a mix that is special to me and my family. And it is not something so easily given as just paying for it. I want to offer you an experience from someone you may not know. It is very good.
What, just a swig? Is that what you're offering?
Yes? And if you like it, you can keep it.
I'm a man of very refined taste. Opens his hand.
She kind of hesitates for a second and then gives it to him. He has to make a con save. Oh,
I'll stick to my gin.
do you really think that that boy and his father are the same person?
Spirit.
Do you honestly believe that your son will make the same mistakes as the father? Without a doubt?
In my eyes, he already has. taking the only woman I have in my life. Ophelia's mother died in childhood.
Even if she does go and leaves, which I don't think you would be happy about, much more than her staying with him. But if she does choose to leave, she is still your daughter and still exists in your life, even if you do not see her every day. And if you let her go on good terms, she will continue wanting to be with you and have you in her life.
Everyone's a sage these days. What has humanism done to the thinking world?
I'm still trying to understand what humans are.
If you can, make sure she's alright. Gets home. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if she found a way to run off to the moon.
Well, I don't recommend it.
With that, he kind of turns and walks out.
Yeah, she's gonna take a small drink of her stuff, and then she's gonna go back into the hall and sit with the party.
Meanwhile, the rest have watched the wind down of delegation and decision. Actually, interestingly, you've heard sort of the start of a conspiracy being hatched to sell the Dragon's Blood wine to places farther north for some of their resources to bolster the forges. And as that kind of comes to a close of them deciding in favor of that, Nella comes back in the room.
Is anyone dead yet?
No. Well, nothing aside from the death of the freedom of the people. What happened to the guy?
They talked with him.
And
And he wants his daughter to be safe.
well, at least that's something.
You hear a door from the far side of the room, from the stage, sort of stage, amphitheater type stuff, open, as filling the entire door frame slinks out a very tall, very buff creature in a suit. It appears to be as a lion man, albino, the scar over his right eye. As he comes up behind Jameson Forrest and puts a roll perception check.
Oh God! I just looked at the thing.
Ah, decent roll for a
Oh,
while.
actually, at this point, can someone, Noel, would you like to share so the audience at home can see what you're seeing?
Yeah. Give me a second to move this around.
Woo. Rafa and Nella, you actually see well enough to notice that his hand coming out of the cuff seems to be backwards as it prattles onto the shoulder of Forrest. and he mutters something into his ear, and Jameson's eyes shoot up, and he whispers over to Father Hagios, whoa, nope, not Father Hagios. The man, he's gone.
Hopefully.
To Father Homogeneous, as he wraps his gavel and goes, "The meeting shall now be adjourned to tend to private matters or so. Now as light shine upon you." And they all kind of mumble varying forms and affectations on, and also on you. And we're going to go back to just the us of you.
Where are they going?
Let's follow them.
Rafa, could you make a history check? Or Arcana. Or Arcana.
Ooh.
Okay. Something
Uh-huh.
something about that backwards hand is stuck in your head. Lion, man, backwards hand. Lion. But you feel like it's just beyond the grasp of your knowledge of what this could be. Cocklestone comes walking towards you and looks at the two and goes, "Emerson, my son." Kind of looks over the few of them. Aaron was always eccentric. Well, you don't all have to talk at once.
Sorry, I was caught up.
So what are we to do about what happened here tonight?
Well, to be honest, I'm not
Okay,
sure.
I'm sorry, what?
I was saying, to be honest, I'm not sure. I know something has to be done. People can't suffer in this way.
What would be the just way to remove these people from power? Is it death?
I'm sorry, you're discussing this in front of one of the heads of this state?
Oh, I suppose not.
I was going to say.
Yeah, I'm looking him right in the eye. No, I thought that it. So my bad. Yeah.
And so here, what is it? Are you sure you want to allow this situation with the people with taxes getting higher to happen? Do you think the people have enough money to pay for this?
Yes. They had the money when the taxes were first raised. After that, the job has to start paying more, or it goes out of business.
How much money are you spending?
Oh, goodness, I would have to look back at my notes. I make a lot of money. I spend a lot of money to keep the goods flowing in and out.
And what goods per se would that be, sir?
Textiles, different things. I mean, the docks is where everything comes in and goes out.
Indeed, they are. And I think I still have the shipment records on me, don't I?
We could say you do. The more important thing is that note in Thieves' Cant that Jessica is currently working on deciphering.
Right. So I lay simply what I have in front of him, and I also say, there are also notes that we are currently translating that have shipments over to the Dragonlands or over to the Dragon's armies going through this port. So it seems that the money isn't just going into your pockets.
Preposterous. We wouldn't make a deal like that.
Wouldn't?
No.
And what
Now
would
from the
happen if they
regions
did?
that don't profit the Empire, I mean, you're a soldier. Do you ever have dragon's blood wine?
No. And for by Great Palor's grace, I never would.
It's very good.
Not if it was paid with the blood of my comrades.
It wouldn't. It'd be paid with gold.
He glares at him.
Just like Homogeneous. Such a realistic view of what things are. Black or white. Costlestone or Emerson. The world is in some places painted by God in gray tones, my dear friend.
Well, the son of the great Palor once said, whoever is not with me is against me. That seems a bit black and white to me. So if you want peace, find it not through corrupt means, or else the same ones who placed you in power will be the ones to bring you down from power.
Bruh. And you two, you're really planning on scampering off like that? They kind of shrink in the seat. And he sits down. I raised you to be strong and wise, not bull-headed. Find a way in the dead of night. There could be a storm coming in for all of you. That's foolhardy, son. He kind of just hangs his head. I always knew you were not interested in my profession. I was never interested in my father's profession. But I didn't know anything else. So, what's your backup plan? And they kind of continue talking in increasingly hushed tones as you feel increasingly more like you're in on a very private conversation.
I'm just gonna go chase the tiger, dude. I don't need to be here for this.
Actually, yeah, Jameson Forrent and his companion are starting to walk by.
Do we follow them? Well, can we follow them?
I'm gonna just.
That's up to you, though. As Jameson walks by, he looks to his friend and says a thing based on my ability to find something in a timely manner, and of course edit it afterwards so I don't filibuster too much.
Filibuster, isn't that a politics thing?
Cobblestones and yeah, that's the wrong voice. Cobblestones and young Emerson. I'll see y'all at the banquet, my estate, this week or next week. And they kind of they all side eye him and just kind of nod. Well, gonna be a good villains doll. I have your favorite wine, Grayson. And then he winks at the patron, the patriarch of the Copplestone house. Come along, Shemyaza. We got things to discuss. And he continues out with his companion. Unless you try to interact with him.
I'm gonna follow them when they're already like. I don't want it to be obvious.
Okay.
I want to sneak. It's the best thing. I don't need to be here for the family thing anymore.
How does the rest of the party react to you starting to go to follow?
I whisper, Nella, where are you going?
We don't have to be here for that relation, or that conversation between them. It is unnecessary. However, that man specifically is the one I was asked to kill.
You make a good point. Rafa, do you want to at least separate ourselves from them? Probably follow?
I suppose for now that's the best we can do. We have a lot to discuss, though.
You've got a point. Nella,
I talked to God today.
Nella, if you want to keep an eye on them, please do. But if anything happens, you contact us.
Okay.
And with that, the curtains close on tonight's session. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for playing. Good night, and God bless.